actually, HasuObs isn't ahead because Mankiw has Neos. Boom, turret OP.
Once again, Sean is not serious. I'm just really worried since we're going to hype these VODs that one person is going to comment on all my YouTube videos going, he's such a terrible caster, he doesn't know anything about StarCraft 2! And that is the voice that the guy will have.
Yeah. His name is Demon Hunter. Oh my god.
The second engineering bay
Man.
is on the way up for Mankiw, and I do like this. He's going to be going for them double upgrades. And talk about overkill. One Marine killed by about a bajillion units. And actually, there's going to take a little bit of damage, Mankiw is. And supplies are actually dead even right now. Double Forge on the way up for HasuObs. He's very far behind in upgrades. Mankiw is about to get 1-1, and he's about to just get started on his upgrades. HasuObs does have a pretty significant army lead. 56 to 50 isn't the hugest, but he does have 2 Colossi on the field, which is a pretty phenomenal number compared to the 0 Vikings.
Mankiw does. All these times you see him putting down a 3rd command center, putting down a 2nd command center, and he takes so long to actually expand. And that's really cool because, like, basically it just means that he's going to have a lot of economy on 2 base, and he can really put on some serious pressure.
I love
I don't really
this.
see many foreign Terrans do that. I only see...
Vikings
actually,
engaging.
The only Terran I've seen...
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but this is a little bit... Vikings are going to be getting a few pot shots off on that one Colossus. He will be able to leave with no permanent damage. And how many workers did he kill there? He killed 4 workers with splash damage, and that was
Oh my goodness!
We're getting worker kills.
He just quintupled his worker killed count.
And, ooh, will take out that one bunker without any losses, really. Just a little bit of permanent health lost on that one stalker. And, I mean, really, this is really good poking and prodding from HasuObs. He's taking all the little wins he can. And I really love this pylon placement because the Colossi do have vision of the high ground, which means he will be able to warp guys into the high ground if he ever feels like it.
Yeah. Yeah, he will, and he has that observer up on the high ground, but that means that the Colossi don't have to be there in order to warp units up.
That is true.
Makes everything just really, really easy. And now suddenly there's a pretty big contain being run on Mankiw. I feel like putting down that 3rd command center, you should be a little bit more aggressive. That's sort of what Empire Cost does, and he's the one I really see be very, very, very aggressive with putting down
I
command
love
centers.
this. Actually, other units in the main. I was about to say those zealots are going to do a lot of damage, but I really love how HasuObs is just really being careful not to lose any permanent health on those Colossi. He's only taking shield damage, and he realizes that he can take shield damage. It's no big deal. He can just pull back. And,
guaranteed damage. Colossi gateway units are replaceable. Colossi, taking a little bit of hull damage on those on that one Colossus, but
only 20 though. So
yeah, but gateway units when you're on 2 base as a Protoss are pretty expendable. He does have, how many gates does he have? He does have 6 gates, which means that he has stopped Colossus production. Pretty much, he's getting 1 Colossus right now, but probably not going to get any more than that. He is on 6 gates, which means he can reinforce this push, and pretty much that gateway force is fairly expendable, at least until he starts to mine out of his main. That does mean that he's going to be able to be a little bit more aggressive with his gateway force, and then be very conservative with the Colossi, which is really good. Colossus conservation is so important going into the late game, because that is the kind of thing that will be quite important as to how you manage your money and how you manage your expansions.
That awkward moment where you want to expand to your 3rd, but there's a factory there.
Yes, indeed. So Mankiw's just like, here, I will trade you this for about 30 seconds.
Mankiw just lost a barracks.
Yes, he did. That's the Colossus good unit, dude.
Yeah, he actually lifted it up. It was on fire, and it was one of those, you remember that one MLG game where Destiny had a greater spire that was off creep and it just slowly lost health. This was just that one of those sort of things where there was a barracks that was on fire and it just slowly lost health and then died.
Yeah. And, yeah, I mean, Protoss is the only race that doesn't have a mechanic by which its buildings can slowly lose health. So, Protoss overpowered, man.
Obviously, yeah.
Obviously.
Charge is now done, and he's pouring a lot into these zealots now. 2-2 is on the way for both players. Mankiw is almost done with 2-2, whereas HasuObs is still very far behind as far as upgrades go. 4 Colossi out, though. 5 Colossi, some Templar. Storm is researched, and that's a bajillion zealots with charge. And really, he's in a phenomenal position. He's almost maxed, and Mankiw's only at 170.
Oh, man, this Colossus control's so good, and Mankiw is paying so dearly. for just not being aggressive enough. What I was saying before is that players like Empire Cost, or rather player like Empire Cost, because Cost is the only
Oh,
person I've
I'm
seen
sorry
do
to
this.
interrupt you, but there is a drop coming into the main of HasuObs. Oh my god, feedback going down on a full medevac, killing it before anything dies, before anything drops out. And
That
that,
that is not a good use of a drop.
the other one is still sitting here, the other medevac. It's going to run home. That medevac pilot does not want to
Run home.
fly into
Run
that.
home. Run home.
Holy
Run home.
crap.
Anyone in the chat can tell me what movie that's from. It will reward you with internet points. Internet points.
And
Anyway,
HasuObs is
so
maxed. I mean, Mankiw is coming pretty close to being maxed as well. And I'm just wondering if who's going to be in a better position. HasuObs has been close to maxed for almost a little for a really long time
Man-
now, and Mankiw
Mankiw
is
is one up on the upgrades. His opponent only on 2-1, only now finishing 2-2. Mankiw will have +3 a little bit sooner than his
oh,
opponent,
but
but
mouzHasuObs now has blink, and I would love to see him just blink into the main, take a little pot shot, a few pot shots on those Vikings or the starport or something, and then blink out. That would be brilliant
but
play.
the only problem with that is that the just a small Marauder force could easily deny that, and that's what he's doing now. But those stalkers are going to take some damage before they actually manage to blink out. But that's not all that important. Now that HasuObs is at his third, he has expanded, and he should be able to reinforce really, really, really easily.
It's true. The entire army has been pulled out of position, and now that he has that blink, that would actually be a really, really good use of that blink too. Oh wait, it looks like Mankiw is going to be pulling out, and a brilliant. Oh wait, EMP went down. That was really, really nice, and that Colossus is on 6 health. But Mankiw has broken the contain, and Mankiw is now in a position to move back across to move out. HasuObs is taking a fourth. So
it would not be a good idea to attack right now. He has the army disadvantage. He has the worker disadvantage. He's taking his third. I feel like he should take his fourth. That's exactly what Mouse Sports' HasuObs is doing. And yeah, maybe finally I can talk about how much I love Empire Cost.
Yeah.
Cost has also this style where he has a style where he not expands, he builds command centers. He just builds command centers, and it's so beautiful because basically what it does is it makes him really, 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 really aggressive. He can be really super aggressive, and Mankiw sort of was kind of like that, where you can be really aggressive, and then you can expand whenever you want because your opponent is always on his back foot, except he never got the chance to actually aggress. So what it ended up being was he had to use his command center to reinforce his defense, and Marines aren't that good at defending your base. That's what Marauders are for. They're sluggish, they're not so mobile, and they just defend your base. So, I mean, it's sort of not exactly maximizing the utility of getting that early third command center.
In the event of an army trade here, Mankiw is going to be in a horrible position. I just took a look at the bases, and Mankiw is almost mined out of his main, almost mined out of his natural, and only now saturating his third, whereas HasuObs still has a pretty reasonable number of minerals at his natural, while his main is mined out, he's just main-arted a bunch of probes over to his fourth, and his third still has tons of minerals.
And that's what I was talking about, man, where Terran just really, really, really pays for having muled too hard. And when you get that early third command center, you don't expand your third until about 20 minutes into the game.
Nice.
But face it, you're just going to be mined out really, really fast. And now he has to expand. He has to win the game right now, which he's not going to be able to do, especially that beautiful feedback's going down on ghosts maybe a little later for you.
Oh, yeah, I saw that, though. 2 ghosts going down, and one EMP does go down, but I think it only hit 1 zealot, so... I mean, this engagement is... I mean, there's a good number of Vikings, but not enough for that many Colossi. I think there's 10 Vikings to 6 Colossus. Yeah. And I mean, really...
The one advantage that his opponent has is that Mankiw does have those ghosts, and he does have 3-3. That means he has half an upgrade up. But this Templar control, quite honestly, could be what completely obliterates that advantage.
That is true. Colossi being pulled a little bit out of position here. They are going to be joining the rest of their army, but it looks actually like Mankiw is getting in a really great position for a phenomenal concave in the event that he attacks right now. And if oh, there goes another brilliant feedback. Storm going down on a group of units. And here we go.
Vikings.
And where are the Vikings? Oh, I'm lost. Oh, the Vikings are going to be flying in right now. Will he drop the storm? No storm going down just yet. Oh, no, the storm on the Vikings is non-existent. Oh, there we go. A brilliant storm going down on the majority of the army. Guardian Shield is up, and that will definitely help out. But the fact that Mankiw has a phenomenal
Goodness.
concave might actually be able to win him this engagement, and he's
Oh
actually
my
going to be coming out
goodness,
ahead
he's
of
getting
this.
pushed back. He's
Storm's
warping
going
in charge
down.
lots at his third. Hopefully those will be
Oh
able to
my
hold this off. Actually,
goodness.
those charge lots should be enough, but he needs to pull
He
back to his
has been
natural.
pulled back. He has been forced all the way back. One Colossus left. A Storm going down on the Vikings. One Viking does go down, but there's only one Colossus getting very, very low on health, and the Colossus goes down. There should be enough charge lots, as you said, to hold us off. The Vikings are now dead, but there are no Colossi. 3 Colossi are on the way, and as soon as those spawn, that should be enough. But until those Colossi spawn, he's going to be in a horrendous position. The third is being attacked, and there's nothing here to hold that off.
Although these cannons are doing a lot of damage because that bio is really on low health for a while
There
there.
goes the
But
Nexus. Nexus has just gone down, and it looks like HasuObs is going to be moving in to try to flank from the back. We'll be able to take out the rest of this force, I think. But no, he's been forced back by the EMP.
but here's the thing. Here's one thing that's so important. Go to Mankiw's vision and check that 8 o'clock expansion.
Oh.
Suddenly, everything just seems a little bit less bad for HasuObs because he's actually on one mining base as well as Mankiw. So really, they're completely even in economy. And right now, I would honestly say that HasuObs just has the leg up because his opponent thinks he's more ahead than his opponent actually is.
Yeah, that is the one advantage that HasuObs still has. The rest of the game is pretty much even. They are both on 3-3 now. And there's Vikings and Colossus being produced again. And it looks like they're just both getting ready to
Now the
max up
probe over
again.
here
And
just preparing to grab a 5th base.
yes,
Will
it
be the
is.
2nd mining base.
Probe is going to be running over there, but the SCV is going to bump into it and see it. And yeah, the probe is going to be, well, he doesn't quite have enough money for a base just yet, so it looks like he'll probably end up taking it. But honestly, I think he should just retake his third. There's a lot of minerals left at his third.
Yeah, that would be a good idea. I think what he's trying to do is going for a little bit of surprise. He's trying to maybe keep his opponent sort of guessing. He is moving his probe back. He will choose to move his probe back, and I think
You're
yeah, I
really
think
ahead.
that's. I'm not that far ahead, but yeah,
I'm
I guess
I
that was.
yeah. Okay, I just times 2 for a little bit. Probe is now moving home. And both the player, no, I'm sorry, Mankiw is maxed, and HasuObs is still 30 supply away from being maxed. And if Mankiw goes for another attack now, that could be a really great trade for him.
It could be actually, and his opponent, yeah, HasuObs not yet choosing to get that shield upgrade. I feel like the shield upgrade might be quite important, especially against a fairly low ghost count. How many ghosts are there out on the field? There are only 5 ghosts. 5 ghosts is quite a bit, but at the same time, if you can spread out your units well enough, that shield upgrade can be really nifty, and it comes in pretty handy in the late game.
That's very, very true, especially since he has so much gas just sort of
Oh,
sitting
so many
around.
Colossi, but oh no, so many
Here comes the
Vikings as well.
engagement. There are a pretty good number of Vikings in here, and here comes the engagement. The Colossi are being focused down by the Vikings. One Colossus does
Beautiful
go down.
storms.
The other Colossi, the Colossus are going to do a lot of splash damage here. I didn't actually catch the storms, but there's a storm going down, and another storm. Wow, that's a lot of storms going down. I see them now, and actually it looks like HasuObs is going to come out on top as far as the trade goes. No, he will actually lose this engagement here, and all of a sudden Mankiw is at twice as much supply.
Yeah, Mankiw is just dominating his opponent in the army supply. He does know about this hidden expansion now, not so hidden anymore. But at this point, Mankiw it's basically just one base to one base, and Mankiw has mules. And that's basically going to spell doom for HasuObs unless he really makes something happen, because he just
Oh,
doesn't have the economy to be sporting, constantly pumping out more units.
a little bit of a terrible engagement with the Stalkers trying to catch some of the medevacs while they were still loaded, but the medevacs did drop them, and they were full of Marauders, so those Stalkers did not get a good engagement at all. And
But the
Archons are going to do a
Archons
lot of
are pretty
damage.
good.
Yeah, the Archons are doing quite a bit of damage. And
Yeah, the medevacs, Vikings, all nice and clumped. Perfect
we
situation
will
for
lose
the
one
Archons.
Archon, though, and actually that other Archon is very low. There goes a second Archon as well, and all of a sudden he is on the run, and Mankiw is once again at twice as much supply, and he will even get a third Archon. I don't even know if any of these units are going to get away. Yeah, one Archon does get away, but HasuObs is
Yes,
in a pretty
indeed,
tough
the
position.
Korean turn is now suddenly taking control of this game and transitioning into Zealot Archon. He does have charge. He has had charge for a very long time, so I don't know why I even pointed that out. But He is transitioning actually back into Dark Templar Archons, which is pretty much better when you're not on when you start to mine out of your gas, which, as we can see, is the case for
Definitely,
our
Sean.
Chaos player.
And, well, this expansion, the only mining base for HasuObs has been denied, and that may well be game. I mean, this expansion
Yeah,
down
that
here
could be.
is being mined out from Mankiw, but at this point, though, Mankiw just has a much bigger army, and HasuObs doesn't have anything with which to make an army. He's got 15 minerals, 150 gas, and
Yeah,
that's all he
man, I
has.
think.
This army, this little force down here is all he will have.
Yeah, man, I think it's going to be ManQ versus Alive in the finals. I don't see much of a way of HasuObs getting back into this. He just doesn't have the. He has no money. He has no money for an expansion, which means he has to win with this. He does have to win with this army, or he has to distance mine, one or the other. I always forget about distance mining. Forget it's possible,
Yeah,
but I don't think
Mankiw,
that's really a viable choice.
and of course Mankiw has the advantage of just being able to lift up his orbitals.
Yeah, that's true, which means that distance mining has to be the only way he wins. Otherwise, he has to crush this army right now, which will be the only way that he can possibly win this game.
That is
But
true.
if ManQ lifts up his orbitals, then he's not going to be able to mine, and then distance mining will be able to get HasuObs the game. So, I mean,
Oh, here comes the engagement here. The Zealots are going to be moving in, doing a lot of damage here. The
wow,
Zealots might actually be able to finish this off.
actually crushing
And,
this force.
yeah, this force is taking a lot of damage from the Zealots. That one Archon in the back doing a lot of splash damage as well. Phenomenal micro from Mankiw is going to take out as much as he possibly can, but he is going to be left with almost nothing.
But but
HasuObs, I mean, and this little tiny force is all he has left, and he's not even distance mining.
and yeah, not to mention the fact that there was just a, let me count, 38 SCV Maynard, standard
Oh,
33
wow.
minute 38 SCV Maynard over to the third, which essentially means that with the help of mules, he's going to have a lot of money pretty soon, and he's just going to have an army that's going to be able to kill. And no, 1 DT is not going to be enough to kill this entire army. There is 50 energy on that orbital command. And yeah, I just don't see HasuObs winning this. Oh my goodness, that Charge-a-Lot Archon force just seems so small. It just looks tiny. It just looks like it honestly, it just looks like one guy and a bunch of little midgets.
Yep.
And they're all like trying to fight people with guns and missiles and tanks. Not so much with the tanks, but
Yep. Well, I think this is GG already. It's just that now HasuObs not throwing down the GG just yet.
accepting a really big mistake from his opponent. I don't think HasuObs can really get back into this game. He's trying to poke at his opponent. He making very good use of that blink, but you're not going to snipe a Marauder. No. The Marauder is just not. It's too good. The composition right here is just too much less mediocre than his opponent's.
And yes, he
And
will
it's a
lose.
GG.
What? Where?
Not yet.
No, not quite yet. Still not yet. And once again, blinking in. There's the GG. And GG, Gratz and Mankiw will be guaranteed $75 as he goes into the finals. HasuObs will be playing 425 in the third place playoff.